us, we just ended a fiscal year in March. It was a great year for us. Business overall has been quite good. We finished 2011 as the #2 Asian brand in the U.S. Obviously, the earthquake tsunami affected all three major Japanese players. We reacted, recovered a lot quicker. A lot of people like to say we weren't affected. We absolutely were, but we recovered quite quickly and actually finished off the year #2. 8.2% U.S. market share, so that's our all-time high. And it's not only that, it's our 6th straight year of growth, so it's by no means a fluke. And that's with a product portfolio that's probably is one of the oldest in the industry. So very happy with the results, 2011. And obviously internally we surpassed 1 million vehicles, so for us in the Americas, in the U.S., that's sort of a big milestone. Even better, when you work for a CEO named Ghosn, we 17% year-on-year growth, which is actually better than our global growth. So you think about a lot of our global growth is coming from Southeast Asia, Latin America, developing countries. But we actually in the Americas outpaced the global growth. So a great story there. Quite happy with that. Obviously, outside of just the overall growth, electric vehicles. Leaf, a huge story. 25,000 Leafs sold so far, 11,000 of them in the U.S. We are the industry leader in electric vehicle sales. So I think I saw a stat that we didn't produce it, but something like 61% of the electric vehicles sold in the world have been sold by Nissan. So without a doubt, the leader there. We recently sort of changed the business model. We introduced Leaf in the U.S. kind of market by market, state by state. Really just in April went to a 50-state distribution plan, so now all dealers are able to receive Leaf. We don't have enough to give them, but all dealers are now in the game. And then the big milestone for Leaf, production out of Japan is still a bit of a challenge, but we're building a battery plant in Smyrna, Tennessee. It's all enclosed now. And we expect to be able to produce 150,000 batteries a year, and then we will be able to produce the Leaf vehicle in Smyrna as well. So obviously building it here in the States helps quite a bit. So that's sort of the big milestone for Leaf in terms of its volume potential. Outside of Leaf, electric vehicles are going to expand to what we call NV200. This is the taxi of tomorrow. If you saw in New York, we made Nissan will provide taxis to the city of New York. And we will actually try on an electric version of that taxi on the streets of New York. So there's probably no better proving ground than that. Localization. So also a lot of investment in the Americas in terms of future growth. This is a huge sort of win for us. 25% increase in local production over the next few years. We actually are the top non-domestic manufacturer in North America. So outside of the big three, nobody builds more cars in North America than us. And then obviously the expansion continues. So we've recently announced plants in Mexico and Brazil that actually take some load off existing plants and allow us to source more of our U.S. stuff right in Tennessee or Mississippi. So good news there. And actually there's an engine plant in Decker, Tennessee that supports both of those facilities, and that's getting expanded as well. And actually for the first time, Decker will build engines that we export back to other markets, so we'll be able to do that. And then in the very short term, about 85% of what we sell will be made in the Americas, from about 70% today. So vehicle we've already announced, the next generation Rogue, which is our #2 volume vehicle, will be built in Smyrna. That makes a huge difference for us in terms of really cost and our local capacity. Also, commercial vehicles, another fairly new business initiative for Nissan. Commercial vehicles, if you think back what we've been saying for about the last 18 months, innovation for all, and we do think, and when you see the new Altima, hopefully you'll agree, there's quite a bit of innovation in the car. Commercial vehicles are probably a segment of the industry that hasn't seen an innovation in 25 years. So we've actually brought quite a bit of innovation to our commercial vehicles, both design, innovation, flexibility. And actually, when we had the MMP in Nashville, we actually used our 12-passenger vehicle to move a lot of the journalists around, so they got to experience some of that firsthand. And really, quite a bit of an opportunity for us. It's obviously a challenging market to get into, but the vehicles are quite competitive and quite well reviewed so far. And then the NV200, the next compact van, is actually, that is the taxi tomorrow, which goes, debuts early next year. So innovation, so that's the high-level Nissan picture. Get to 2012, we've been saying Nissan Innovation for All, and really this is the year, a big transition year for us. 5 all-new vehicles in 15 months, each one sort of being the next proof point in our innovation story, and it really starts with Altima here at the end of this month is start of sales. So Altima is the first in the sort of the sequence, followed closely by Pathfinder and Sentra. And then as we get into 2013, new volume hatchback, small hatchback, and new volume crossover vehicle again. Those 5 vehicles will represent about 70% of our sales, so within about 15 months, 70% of our showroom will be all new. And they obviously then fuel our growth over the next several years to 10% market share in the U.S., which is sort of an internal goal that's been communicated externally quite a bit. So with that, Steve's going to pull up a little spot here, which really, we unveiled the Altima at the New York Auto Show, and really, our guys did a pretty good job keeping that thing secret until the New York show. There wasn't a lot of good spy photos out there, but anyway, shortly following, or actually immediately following the New York show, we ran this spot which sort of touts the 5 new vehicles in 15 months.
Nissan, our ideal is innovation. 5 all-new models over the next 15 months, including a completely reimagined Altima. Welcome to our most innovative year ever. Nissan, innovation for all.
So fortunately today you'll be driving them with the sheets off. It works out a lot better. Just a little background on Altima then before Dale will come up in a few minutes and kind of start to give you a deeper dive on the product. But obviously we're just wrapping up our 20th year of selling Altimas in the U.S. 1993 was the first model year, 4 generations in the meantime, the 2013 being the 5th generation. They've all been built here, all of them built in Smyrna, and then in 2004, due to just capacity or demand, we actually also started the line at our Canton, Mississippi plant. So we built all of them here, built 4.4 million, 3.8 million of them sold in the U.S. So for Nissan, obviously, we're quite excited because we've never launched a car this competitive into an owner base that big, and probably our whole history in the U.S. So, and then historically, obviously, Altima has done quite well with its owners. J.D. Power's appeal measures owners' satisfaction with their own car. So Altima owners tend to like their car a lot more than some of our key competitors. And for us, it's the best-selling car in our lineup. And last year, the #2 selling car in the U.S. So a huge opportunity for us. And then if you look at the challenge, obviously with every opportunity there are some challenges. This is kind of the key players as we see it in the mid-size sedan segment. So if you look at the couple columns, model year 12, model year 13, you see all those FMCs, that's full model change. So you can see all the key players are changing. Obviously we know the new Camry's already out. We know that the new Passat's already out. The Malibu Eco is out. And then comes all new Altima, followed by the Accord and the Fusion later in the year. So really the big 6 players in the segment, all new models within a fairly short period of time. And if you're Sonata, let's say, who's sort of been riding this wave of a nice new car in the last year, 18 months or so, a year ago, they were the newest car in the segment. In about 6 months, they'll be one of the oldest cars in the segment. So that's really how fast the world's turning within the mid-size sedan segment. So for us, obviously, I think for the consumer, obviously, it's a great time to be in market and be considering any of these vehicles because they're all going to be new. And from Nissan's perspective, the Altima being the best of the bunch, obviously that sort of heightened shopping activity plays well for us. So we're very excited about it. That's the challenge. To show you a little more on how we kind of are dealing with the challenge with the 2013 Altima, let me hand it over to Jay.
Morning.